So the big questions: how to avoid exams. Most importantly, have reliable partners in place before you complete the purchase order. That it's everything from your shipper to your freight forwarder to your broker, because if your shipper's not documenting things correctly, that's going to cause you problems. If your forwarder doesn't know the best routing, that could cause you problems. If your broker doesn't know how to file an FDA entry, that they don't know that you need to file FDA or APHIS on something, that's going to cause you problems. So you need to make sure you're working with reliable, knowledgeable people. If you plan to import more than one time, you probably need to do a continuous bond. Basically, that's because if you are doing a single entry bond, Customs is going to see you more likely as a first-time importer, because that's kind of a red flag for them. We talked about first-time importers being more likely to get an exam. So the continuous bond helps them see you're going to be a regular importer. I can probably rely a little bit more on you to know what you're doing. Documents, documents, documents. Please get your documents to the broker as soon as you possibly can, because if Customs flags something and you don't have documents up front, the longer you wait, the more frustrated they're going to get, and it is more likely that your stuff is going to sit, because they're going to put you on the back of the line because they don't have what they need. File ISF accurately and on time. You've got to file that 24 hours in advance. If you're shipping to the Port of Savannah and you have an ISF that's not done the day after it's sailing, you are likely to get a $5,000 fine from Customs, because that port specifically is real serious about that. So filing ISF accurately on time is always important, but especially if you're shipping to certain ports. Ensure your HTS number is correct. Work with your broker. Make sure that you've got the right HTS number. You know, Scarborough offers free consulting calls of 30 minutes if you've got questions on your tariffs. We want to make sure that you're doing everything correct, just like you do, to make sure that you're not getting into trouble with Customs, because unfortunately with Customs, not knowing the answer is not a pass. Again, back to the documentation, detailed commodity description is an absolute must. We've had an importer before bring in empty pen casings, and they listed them as dead bodies on the invoice, which is very, very bad. Don't put dead bodies on your invoice, because that was a very confusing red flag for Customs, and you bet that shipment went on exam. Refer to the 19 CFR, I believe it's 152, for valuation, to make sure that you're putting the correct pricing on your invoices. Avoid importing from high-risk countries. We've talked about those. You know, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, those are places that Customs sees as less stable, and they want to examine things because they want to make sure everything is okay. Find out required licensing or certificates from PGAs. So make sure you have your FDA information in line. Make sure that you've got, you know, if you're bringing in something that's going to be subject to USDA, have your health certificate, your vet certificate, anything like that. Because again, if you don't have that at the time of importing, those partner government agencies are going to be wondering why you didn't have that already. And then the last thing is to become CTPAT certified. CTPAT is a program that basically, it's called Customs Trade Partnership Against Terrorism. We'll talk about that for just a second. You know, the benefits are reduced number of CBP exams, front of the line for inspections, possible exemption from those randomized stratified exams, shorter wait times at the border. There's just, you can go on and on with the list of CTPAT benefits, but it's not an easy process to get through. You've got to make sure you know what you're doing, and you have to absolutely make sure that your entire supply chain from shipper to end user is in line in order to qualify for CTPAT. But I do know they've recently revised some of their benefits. They're trying to make it more beneficial to entice more people to use it. So if you want to ask about CTPAT, you can obviously reach out to myself or Deb. We'll get you with our consulting team here at Scarborough and find out if CTPAT is something that you're interested in, or, you know, if you could really benefit from it.